Born on a mountain top of Tennessee, greenest state in the land of the free. Roamed through the woods till he knew every tree. Killed him a bar when he was only 3. Davy, oh Davy Crockett, the king of the pioneers. He fought single-handed through the Injun War till the Creeks were whipped and peace was restored. While he was handling this risky chore, made himself a legend forevermore. Davy, oh Davy Crockett, king of the wild frontier. When he lost his love, his green skull, in his heart he wanted to leave it all and lose himself in the forest tall. But instead he answered his country's call. Davy, oh Davy Crockett, king of the wild frontier. He went down to Washington to serve a spell, fixing up the government laws as well. He took over Washington, we hear tell. He patched up the crack in the Liberty Bell. Davy, oh Davy Crockett, the king of the wild frontier. Now when he come home, his politic done, the big western march had just begun. He packed up his gear and his trusty gun, took off a grinning to follow the sun. Davy, oh Davy Crockett, the king of the wild frontier. Now his land is biggest and his land is best, from the grassy plain to the mountain crest. He's ahead of us all, a meeting the test, followed his legend clear into the west. Davy, oh Davy Crockett, the king of the wild frontier, king of the wild frontier.
This is the story of Davy Crockett going to Congress, the story of a brave and fearless Indian fighter, a man of the people. And here is the old-timer who will tell you this thrilling tale of this episode in the life of Davy Crockett.
Well, it's me again with another tale about Davy Crockett. Seems like every time I pick up this guitar, I start thinking about some of those stories my grandpappy told me about Davy. Quite a fella, Davy Crockett. After he got done fighting with them Creek Indians, and they signed the peace treaty, things got a mite tame for him and Tex at the farm where they was working in Tennessee. And it 'pears like Davy just could sit so long, and then he'd start thinking up an excuse to go hunting trouble. Well, let's see now. The way I heard it, Davy was out digging on his farm one day with his friend and kind of helping him out, when suddenly he threw down his shovel and went over to the water bucket for a drink.
Well, Davy, don't stand there with that foolish grin on your face. Come on, out with it. Whenever I see that look in your eyes, I guess you're fixing to light out again. Or maybe you got something mighty important on your mind.
Well, the way I see it, this land around here is getting a mite too civilized for me. Now, I hear that over in the big bar country to the north, there's rainbow trout as big as your arm, just sitting in those streams waiting for a fella to drag them up on the bank. So I kind of figured out about sunup tomorrow, if you want to trail along with me, we'll take a look that way for some new farmland. Right now, I'm going to round up the horses and some gear while you just sit there a spell and think it over. Here, have a drink. This water tastes mighty fine. Well, it weren't no good in arguing with Davy when he set his mind up on something, so Next morning, found the two friends riding along far to the north of their farm, heading for that big bar country to look for some new farmland. Well, Tex, I'm mighty proud you decided to come along. That air feels clean and good. Only one thing bad about that air. Makes me powerful hungry. Well, I reckon we ought to stop at that little town up there ahead and see if we can rustle up some victuals, huh? Come on, get along there. Say there, Tex, seems like quite a crowd gathering up ahead there. Let's take a ride over and see what all the ruckus is about there. Come on, get up there, get up. Say there, mister, could you be letting me know who I'd have to see about filing a claim on some land up this way? I'd be right obliged.
Ain't no sense in filing on land today, stranger. There's a big shooting match going on this afternoon, and it ain't likely nobody's going to miss seeing me win the prize for my shooting. Yep, everybody around these parts knows me. Big Sam, they call me.
Hi, Big Sam. Right pleased to meet you. I'd sure be mighty unhappy to miss a shooting match, especially since you're fixing to win. Well, I'll see you at the shooting ground here.
Come on, get up there. Get up there. Well, I hope you ain't fixing to shoot again, Big Sam, with that shooting iron. Now, look here, before you get any ideas, just watch this shooting here. Let's see you beat that, stranger. That bullet is plumb in that hole. Better save your powder. Ain't nobody gonna shoot better than Big Sam.
Now, if you folks will kind of move back a mite, I'll just try once.
Show how to shoot in Tennessee there.
Well, now, Big Sam, I'm right sorry, but seems like I blew that knot hole plumb out of that wood.
Well, that was just a lucky shot. I wouldn't get too lucky if I was you. Because this shot's gonna show you who is the best shot in this country. Watch this. There, consarn, you beat that. My shot's plumb dead center in that knot hole.
Well, now let me try there, Big Sam, just to keep the record kind of straight.
Looks like you missed clean, stranger. Can't see no bullet mark nohow.
Hey, Big Sam, the darndest shot I ever did see. That stranger's bullet is sitting right on top of yours, plumb center.
Oh, Davy, he could shoot a hole right in a buzzard's eye, even shoot a hole in the bright blue sky. He could shoot a fly right through the head a mile away. He'd wrestle with a grizzly bear, so the folks all say. Well, Big Sam was madder than a wet hen, and it wasn't long after that Davy heard tales that he was robbing folks of land and running off their livestock. Well, one afternoon, while Davy was working on his farm, an Indian farmer who lived not far away came slowly down the trail looking mighty sad indeed. His head was all wrapped up in a blood-soaked strip of Indian blanket, and Davy had to catch him as he fell forward and almost collapsed. Oh, now, there, take it easy now, partner. How's that? Well, you look plumb tuckered out. Say, what happened?
Bad man, Big Sam. Like giant grizzly bear. Him come to my farm. He say, I no own land. Me tell him to go away. Him laugh like crazy coyote and hit Joe with fist many times. Him strong like ox. Say no come back. He kill Joe.
Take it easy, Joe. Now, you and I are going to take a trip up to your farm and see if we can persuade Big Sam to leave peaceable like. You rest here a while. I'll get the horses. Well, Davy and the Injun headed up to the Injun's farm, and according to what my grandpappy says, Davy was in a real unhappy mood about this whole business after he saw how bad that Injun had been done up by a Big Sam. It was kind of dark when Davy and the Injun knocked on the cabin door.
What in tarnation do you want? waking a man up this time of the night.
Now, the way I figured it, Big Sam, this don't happen to be your bed at all. You got a short memory and a long tongue. Injun Joe here's coming back home, and if I was you, I'd leave real peaceable like.
You mangy polecat, I'll break you in two. I'll feed you to the...
Well, that ought to cool you down, Sam. You know, when my grandpappy told me that part of the story, always made me feel very, very good. I used to feel like singing. And it's like as not, Grandpappy used to sing this little song to me. It went like this. Oh, I went out to milk and I didn't know how. I milked a goat instead of a cow. A monkey sitting on a pile of straw, a winking at his mother-in-law. Turkey in the straw, turkey in the straw. Roll him up and twist him up and hide tuck a haw and hit him on the tune called Turkey in the Straw. Well, right after Davy's run-in with Big Sam, he got so popular that he was elected magistrate. Pretty soon after, he was politicking and getting himself elected right and left, finally to the state legislature up there in Nashville. He wasn't much on speech-making, but folks thought what he said made sense. Well, as the months went by, Davy got to be quite a figure in politicking. His tall tales he was telling and his simple manner won the hearts of all who met him. Davy became a sort of a buckskin politician after a while, and it wasn't very long before some of the big men up in Washington started to notice him. The major, who had served with him against the Indians during the Creek Wars, stopped at a political meeting to hear Davy talking one night. Well, Davy was having quite a time for himself. Well, friends, as I was saying, there was that big bar heading straight at me with his mouth wide open. Well, now, you won't believe this, but I reached right down that critter's throat, grabbed him by the tail, and that ornery critter, quick as a flash, was turned inside out and running the other way.
Pretty good.
And that's how I figure some folks are about politics. One minute, their mouths wide open, ready to chaw somebody up, and the next minute, they're heading the other way. That is, if you know how to handle them right. Well there, Major, I haven't seen you for quite a spell. I thought you were a trifle peeved with me the way I rubbed your fur the wrong way back during that Indian ruckus.
Oh, let's forget that, Crockett. I'm here in business. I've been watching the way you're coming along, and I feel that you are the man we need to send up to Congress. What do you say, Davy? The country needs men like you, and I want to be your friend.
Well, I think you're plumb loco thinking a plain woodsman like myself will fit in up in Washington,
Oh,
but...
come on.
Well, as long as them fellas up there let me speak my mind, I reckon I'll go along with anything the people want.
Good deal.
Well, I'll see you tomorrow, Major.
All right.
Right now, I got a mess of people who are waiting to feed me at a shindig over there at the hotel, so I'll have to run along. Right nice to see you again, Major.
So long, Davy.
Now Davy went to Washington, all dressed in buckskin brown, and I'm sure he made a figure as he strolled around the town. And he spoke up loud and strong when there was justice to be done, a rootin' tootin' congressman a carrying a gun. Folks seemed to like Davy right well down in Washington, and things went fine till the major tried to figure out a plan to steal some land from Crockett's Indian friends. Now, it seems that the major had put up a bill before Congress, and he figured he'd have to get Davy out of Washington before he began his plan. So he up and sent Davy on a tour of speech-making and got all set to shove the bill through Congress. Davy's pal Tex got wind of this treachery and raced out of town to warn his friend who was in Philadelphia making a speech.
Here, son. Hold this critter for me, will you? I ain't gonna be but a minute. This is where Davy Crockett is speaking, isn't it?
In closing, ladies and gentlemen, I just want to say that the city of Philadelphia has treated me fine and fed me like a hog going to the slaughter. If any of you folks get around my neck of the woods, I'd be proud to have you stop in for a visit. Of course, it'd be a mite crowded if you all come at once.
Davy, over here a minute.
Well, Tex, you old son of a gun, what are you doing over there?
Remember that major who got you to make this trip? Well, that critter has plumb double-crossed you and is fixing to run that engine bill through Congress while you're speech-making. Better hightail out of here, Davy, before they bring it to a vote. If we ride all night, you can just about make it.
Enough said, Tex. Bring the horses around the back of the building and we'll leave right away.
Let's go.
Whoa there. Whoa there, fella. There you are. Anybody home in there? Hello there. Hello.
Hello yourself, stranger. Who might you be?
I'm Davy Crockett, congressman. Don't mean to trouble you none, but I've got some skunk hunting to do down there in Washington, and we need some fresh horses. Whoa there, whoa.
Well, Davy Crockett, huh? Well, don't fret about a thing, friend. Anything you see in my corral, that's what you want. It's yours. Davy Crockett, huh? Well, I'll be...
Mighty obliged to you, friend, mighty obliged to you. Let's go, Tex. I'm all fired anxious to get 'em moving. Let's go here. Now, come on. Well, it seems like Davy and Tex came riding lickety-split right into Washington. Plumb tuckered out, too, just before that Indian bill was to be introduced. Davy went up the stairs 2 at a time and ran smack into the major who was just about to go in the door. I want to talk to you, Major. I hear tell you're right set on pushing that Indian bill through. Any truth to it, Major?
Now look here, Crockett. If this bill goes through, you're set for life. I've got enough power to even propose you as President of the United States. Now, let's be reasonable, Crockett. If you Indians aren't going to stand in the way of your success, are they? You're not going to let a simple matter like this ruin my plans?
No, but I figure this might change your plans a little, Major. Come on, Tex. I have a little speech making to do inside on my own. Friends, I just come back from a trip around this fine country of ours, and I've talked to a lot of plain folks who believe mighty strong that us fellas in Washington are doing our best to make good laws that'll benefit all of us. Now, according to my way of thinking, this engine bill will benefit a few people by grabbing the Indian lands, but it's going to make a lot of right-thinking people wonder if we're the kind of men who can keep our promises.
we made promises to the Indians, and I figure as how if we don't keep those promises, our word isn't going to hold much water with the folks back home. Now, in closing, just want to say that this is a mighty big country and growing like a young hound dog, but I reckon folks don't want to have it grow so fast that we can forget our solemn promise. I give my word to the Injuns to protect their land, and I'm fixing to keep it. Now, what are you going to do?
I'm with you, Davy. We'll pull it down.
Well, Davy knew that his speech had probably finished any chance he had with the powerful forces in Washington who wanted to pass that bill, but he spoke his piece and kept his word anyway. Just like my grandpappy said, Davy Crockett was a fine figure of a man. Davy Crockett served his country well. He rang out a song of freedom on the old Liberty Bell. His name we'll long remember, 'cause his heart was brave and true. Davy Crockett, we will long remember you. And the wild wind in the forest will speak forever your name. And the cool streams in the mountains each echo of your fame. And where there is a freedom, you will hear this hero's name. Davy Crockett, buckskin hero, wild untamed.